Hi, my name is Jess Raitt and welcome to Uncapped, where we lift the lid off natural and low-tox lifestyles with essential oils. Today I'm joined by the absolutely delightful Anastasia Filtness, who is a dear friend of mine, a beautiful soul and one half of the most mesmerising couple in doTERRA, the other half being her wonderful husband Zach, who actually joined me on the couch almost a year ago now. We're talking about our Australian and New Zealand native blends here, the beautiful Oceania trio, Coast, Native Bush and Desert Sand, which are all 10% off this month. And I genuinely couldn't think of anyone more suited to this topic than my guest today. Anastasia is one of doTERRA's OGs, building her business to Blue Diamond over the past 11 years, driven by the initial desire to support her young son's well-being. Since that time, Anastasia has witnessed her babies grow with essential oils by their side, all while she continued to empower other families to take charge of their own health as well. Just being around Anastasia is like staring at the ocean or taking a walk through the forest. Her calm nature and considered approach simply pulls you into her realm to take that breath just a little deeper, to pause between your words, to appreciate where you are, who you are. I'm absolutely delighted to welcome Anastasia Filtness to Uncapped. Hello, lovely.
Hi. Whoa, that was quite an introduction.
And I got a bit teary even just reading that again because I genuinely mean it. You are just the most gentle, caring, considered soul, as is your beautiful husband, which I'm thrilled we can say husband as well.
That was so weird hearing Anastasia Filtness for starters. It's the first time that's kind of like that someone else is saying
it. Yeah, right. It's like that feedback.
It's only been 3 months. So
well, congratulations firstly on not only your success in doTERRA, but your success as a couple. Now that you are, officially unionised.
Yes.
It's just so beautiful to watch your love and everything that you're doing in your beautiful community. So it's an absolute treat to have you on the couch.
It's a treat to be here with you.
Absolutely. How are you? How have you been?
So great. It's so great to be here, and I've just spent the last few days spending time with my mum as well here, which has been really beautiful. When we only came down the first time since COVID just a few months ago, so it's nice to be back here again and just having time with family and just be mobile again. I feel liberated.
It's like the weight's also been lifted off Melbourne and Victoria
Yes.
as well. Now that we've kind of come out of that haze of that pandemic vibes, it's great to travel regionally to go and check out the world, which I know you've been seeing. So it's great that we got to have you and we've put the sunshine on for you today as well.
Yes, and it's my first time seeing the new office.
Yes.
So I'm really,
welcome.
Thank you.
It's wonderful. Beautiful new set as well, nice and light and airy, which I think suits our theming for Uncapped
for today.
So I want to go straight into it because you are one of our OGs. I was looking at the date that you started doTERRA back in 2012. That feels like ages ago. How come you're still doing this and feeling so passionate and so empowered and doing the work 11 years later?
Well, there isn't a day that goes by that I don't use these oils. So it's a nature of we all share what works for us. That's the nature of us, of humans in our connection. We all want to help each other grow. We always help each other be well. And so that's just a natural, that point, just that I never go a day without using the oils, even when we're healthy and well. And they lift everything in my life. They lift our home environment, like our home feels like a healthy environment. Our children feel like they're in a healthy environment, and just having them around makes them make better choices, even in other things. Right. So they tend to they're more aware of their choices in food, and when they're around other people. And my son is known for my youngest son. He's 8. He's so beautiful, extremely honest at that that age, and he's he will be out and about, maybe at a shopping centre, and he'll be like, "Is this soap toxic, Mum?"
Oh, bless.
So he's just, he has that in his environment. Yeah. And so he knows how to build a healthy life for himself. He knows where to avoid toxins and to keep his body well. And so, we get to receive that. And I know the benefit that we get to receive from that. We're not burdened by sickness. And if their sickness comes, we have a solution and it's quick. You know, we're not sick for long, and we bounce back really, you know, with a lot of vitality. And so I just want that for everyone. I know what it's like to be on the other side of that, and to not have that quick solution, and to feel like you're perhaps harming in the process of trying to heal something. And so, yeah, when I know that I've got a solution that actually works, then I want people to know there's a valid and what's the word I'm trying to say? Yeah, it's a valid option. It's a one that we should be taking first.
Yeah.
And to have that, you know, for when we're unwell, but then also when we're well and our life just feels luscious. Like our homes feel like a spa, like a day spa.
They do. They smell like it. They feel like it.
Exactly.
It's just that breath of fresh air.
And
when you walk
people
through the
go
door.
to a day spa, you know, maybe once quarter or something to relax. But it's like, oh, that's my home. Yeah.
It's empowering. It feels good.
So
I've
empowering.
had 2 kids, one without the oils and one with the oils, and I've seen a difference not only in my child's vitality and ability to overcome seasonal threats, overcome things that are happening out in the environment, but it also feels better in our home. It feels safer, it feels cleaner, it feels more vibrant. And I know I'm using fluffy words here, but it genuinely has this aura of just feeling that bit more elevated and better.
Totally.
And
And
we get compliments,
when the
right?
children can feel that you have the confidence of knowing you can do something for them, they can relax. Like they feel that in you. They feel like they never worry when they get sick.
Yeah.
My kids don't get afraid because they just know I've got them, and we've got solutions that work, and Mum will be all over it, you know, and we're all over it. And now, and maybe you might have this with your children, if I'm a bit unwell, they'll be like, you know, they'll bring over an oil and they'll, you know, they know how to take care of people.
Gorgeous. It's a special space.
It is.
So I understand why now.
Yes.
11 years later, that you're just as passionate, because, you know, it can be tiring. It's more than tiring. It's exhausting building a business at times. You know, it's not a 9-to-5 job. You're working nights, you're working weekends. You've got to be just as passionate. And I've always wondered where that fire comes from with our gorgeous leaders who are consistently still showing up and doing the work. So that response was just, it made sense. It resonated.
And I think that it's not work. Like, you know, even after retirement, if I see people suffering, you know, it's just we're made to serve each other. Yeah. That's when we're made for that. It's how we've been designed. So it's like, I feel like it's the most natural thing to do, you know, and that's why the fire never runs out, because it's how I was designed. It's how we're designed.
Yeah. Terra attracts the good souls, doesn't it? So
it makes good souls too.
It sure does. It sure does. A special space. Well, we've got a lot to get through today.
Yes.
We have got 3 remarkable blends sitting in front of us, and as much as I want to chin wag, and I'll take you out for lunch afterwards so we can have a proper catch up, I really want to get into these oils because they're blends. They are remarkable on their own. There's some remarkable properties inside each of them. I want to get inside your mind and know all about these so that we can share with our beautiful audience everything that you know. So, where do you want to start?
I want to start with Desert Sands because this is one, and I don't know if you've had this or you've heard this or if you guys have had this happen, but when I opened the bottle, I was a bit like, like, oh, I don't know.
It's almost like hands up, everyone.
Yeah, like who was not so sure about it when they opened the bottle? Yeah. But when you diffuse it, it completely transforms. It's a very different experience. So there's your portable diffuser, your hands. So if you don't have a diffuser, you actually do. Pop it into your hands, and then you rub it together to get those volatile compounds dispersing. And it's a completely different experience.
It really is.
It really is.
Yeah.
And so something that I really love about this blend, the Desert Sands, is that it has, I mean, when you think about a desert, deserts are really, like, they have a realness to them. Like, they're stripped of all of the noise. There's no noise. There's no, like, trees knocking together and noisy animals and, you know, like if you're thinking about nature, you know, it's arid, vast, spacious nothingness. Yeah. I mean, you know, there isn't an ecosystem, but it's intense. Yeah. But there is something really sobering
Yeah.
and clarifying about that environment. Like it really clears you, because everything's clear. You just kind of, everything's revealed, and there's a relief. You know, when you're sitting with what's actually there, there's a relief. And so, I was thinking about the rosemary that's in this blend. That's that clarifying. It clears our mind. It's great for our mental, our cognitive function. It's great for memory, but it's that really clarifying feeling. And then, the desert is warm, and we have all these beautiful spices in this blend, so the turmeric and ginger and the cinnamon leaf, that are really warming, and so they're kind of like starting to stir the fire. So I really feel like Desert Sands is a great morning blend, because it kind of gets us real, it gets us clear, like, okay, vast open space of a new day. All right, it starts to, stir the fire, build the inner fire, so that we can, kind of take our day with real boldness, and because it has those oils like the rosemary, turmeric, cinnamon, ginger, like amazing for your immune system. So great to just have that. We at doTERRA, we love the preventative lifestyle. So having it diffusing in your home to really support the immune system of your family before they go out into the day, go out into possible seasonal threats. You have that support for your immune system. So I really love Desert Sands for that.
It's a really interesting take too, because we naturally opt for like the peppermints and even the citrus oils, because you think, well, that's going to get me up and going. I'm going to need some Motivate or some peppermint or any of those kind of blends to get me up and going. But
stimulating.
This is a really interesting, almost like you're triggering your natural wake up mechanism.
Yeah, and it's and when you're stirring the inner fire, it's a gentle fire, but it has it sustains. It has endurance. It has longevity, where stimulants can drop pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And so, it's great. Using it topically as well. You can put it on the bottom of your feet, as you might, interchange with On Guard. And it's something that you could, even with, a good dilution, even if you wanted to dilute it in a carrier oil, in a roller bottle, or even just in a little bowl with some fractionated coconut oil over your kidneys. And that's stirring that inner fire.
Yeah, beautiful. And I love that you've brought that up, because this is something that's come up a couple of times in the past few weeks with me. We're on the Aroma Touch tour, which you were there as well when we visited on the Goldie, which was incredible. And Dr. Hill made the most incredible statement that I think everyone just fell off their chairs when he said it. He asked the question of, are you better off diluting an essential oil or applying it neat if you want it to become systemic, if you want it to flow through your system? And a lot of people thought, well, no, you have to combine it with an FCO, right, a fractionated coconut oil, because that's going to be safer. It's going to protect the skin. And that's right. Except if you want it to get into your bloodstream, if you want those incredible molecules, those constituents to actually do what you've just explained, to stimulate the mind, to help support your systems, to give you that focus and that gentle fire within, popping it neat on the soles of your feet, where we've got the largest pores. We've got an extra layer of skin on the soles of our feet.
So you're not going to have sensitivity.
That's right. Within 2 minutes, it's buzzing through your body. So that, from now on, Desert Sand is next to my bedside. I'm going to pop it on my tootsies, and I'm excited about that. It feels gentle and warming, rather than, like you said, that coffee hit that shoot up straight
Which
away.
Peppermint's amazing. I love that, but it can have that spiking effect. So great, and also great diffused in the morning as well for
Beautiful.
set the tone for the kids before they go to school or off to work.
Beautiful. What have we got next? What's this one?
We've got Coast. Now this actually.
Do you want to talk about
Are we allowed to pick? Are we allowed to pick favourites? No, like.
I don't know. Of course you can.
Is this with children? Like you can't have favourite children. This is definitely the one I've used most, although Native Bush is possibly tops it for favourite, but I use this the most.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
Coast. So I want to tell you something. Did you know why the ocean, when you go to the ocean, you feel so invigorated, energized, and cleansed? Do you have like?
Well, it's just like you. You're a walking ocean for me. I feel that with you. But no,
You're so sweet.
Tell me why.
Well, it's because of the negative ions. Like the moving water creates an intense amount, because it's moving and crashing, an intense amount of negative ions. And negative ions actually neutralizes free radicals in our body. And free radicals, we know, burdens our body. It's like, it's attacking our cell integrity, and it wreaks havoc, and we're exposed to them all the time. And so they build up, and our body is just struggling, just functioning normal things. And then if we get sick on top of that, then our body is, that's why we see people really struggling, where it's like, oh, it's just a cold or a flu, or it's just a tummy bug, or it's just something, but your body's already under pressure with the free radical interference. And so when we go to the ocean, we get that kind of intense wave of the negative ions that really helps our body to cleanse out and balance out the free radicals. Did you know what else?
No, tell me.
What else creates negative ions? Diffusing essential oils.
Right.
So we get to support our body to really take away that burden, so that we can have more, just a cleansed body, a cleansed environment. And this is what I love about Coast. We've got what have we got? Coriander, amazing cleanser. Lemongrass, Douglas fir, lemon eucalyptus, the top strong cleansers in this blend. And so I really love this for an after work day, after the school day, to kind of clear away the day, emotionally and physically, to be able to just have that exhale that we have at the side of the ocean, because it has that cleansing effect. And again, it supports the immune system.
Beautiful.
But I love this one over my chest. So I place this one. And I love to have a good inhale. And then I just place it over my chest. It's really great. I mean, Douglas fir is amazing for our respiratory. I'd still say native bush, which we'll talk about in a second, is my favourite one for respiratory, but ocean also. But I love this for cleansing. I love it in the bath. So a good cleansing bath you can have. And now when you're using essential oils in the bath, you want to make sure that you put it into bath salts first. So I'll just have my box of bath salts, and then I have a bowl in my bathroom all the time. And then I'll bring in whatever oil I want to use, and then I'll put the bath salts in the bowl, put the oils in, let them soak in for a bit, and then put them in the water.
Beautiful.
Because then it's not floating on the top.
That's right. That's a really good tip, because I've seen so many people just pop a drop inside the bath. But hey, let's be honest, what happens to water and oil when they're combined? They separate.
Yeah.
And you're going to
get it just floats on the top.
Nice
so the bath salts helps it disperse into the water. And then you're going to be able to actually receive the benefits of those oils, because it's kind of topically and, being soaked into the body. So cleanser. It's cleansing, it's invigorating. You just think about the ocean, what the ocean does, that exhale. We often let go of a lot of things at the ocean. We go there to, go for a dip, and we cleanse. So I love that about the Coast. It's one of my favourite cleansers. So you could use it for cleaning, but I like to diffuse it in the afternoons, and my favourite place is actually putting it in here.
And I love it for cleaning. So it actually,
there you go.
I diffuse it in my laundry, and I like putting it on the dryer balls in the dryer, because then I get that aromatic when I'm wearing the clothing afterwards. And granted, because we live in Melbourne, it's usually freezing all the time, so we are using the dryer often. But you could make like a linen spray of sorts and have that.
Totally.
Because those kinds of aromas really help to cut through negativity in every sense. Vanessa Jean, your dear friend, my dear friend, was sitting on the couch a few weeks ago and talking about lemongrass, which will have gone live by the time we go live. And she was talking about how lemongrass just cuts through. Yeah. And it just stops any kind of negativity coming through. It's almost like a knife. And that really resonated with me. And so I brought Coast back out again, because I thought I need to sometimes cut through. Now, whether it's a shift from coming from work through to home, I need that break. It's that change of mentality. For me, that smell resonates with productivity and doing, like we spoke about earlier, doing good for my own family and for our well-being. So I really enjoy Coast for that reason. So I like it in the laundry, and then diffusing in the kitchen after we've eaten. Now, I'm also picking up a trend
That's
that
great.
you've talked about morning and afternoon. So I'm
Yes.
suspecting that native bush might be the evening routine. And
It is.
clever lady for doing a routine. Well done.
I want to finish with the coast though, because you made a point of like coming home from work.
Yeah.
Coast, because like when we're exposed to a lot of toxins in the car. When we're driving, we're just flooded. There's petrochemicals everywhere. Diffusing coast in the car is cleansing your environment, cleansing you're cleansing your whole body. So it's one of my favorites to diffuse in the car. And what was another thing you're saying? Oh, what I love about Coast is that it has these, lemon eucalyptus and the lemongrass and the coriander, this kind of like cutting oils that, they're really cleansing. But then it has the sweetness. It has like the amorous and the orange and the magnolia. That's that kind of like holiday, because that's the other feeling of on the beach. When people are on the beach, they generally feel like they're on holiday. And so that sweetness is like, that, like, we have we're just in a different state when we're on holiday. And so that's what I love about Coast, because pure lemon eucalyptus or pure lemongrass, they can be like, which is great in context. But Ocean has that sweetness at the end, which just makes it more, just pleasant.
And you've picked up on something that I know we're going to talk about after we've run through these 3 oils. But I do want to definitely flag that there is that benefit of having blends.
Yes.
Because the lemongrass does pack a punch. And I tell you what, the first time I smelled it, I went, no, thank you. This is not for me. That's no. And yet when you pop it in a blend with other essential oils, all of a sudden it could become your favourite, like it is for me right now.
Absolutely.
So it's really remarkable.
Blends are so good for beginners. I mean, I'm 11 years in and I still love blends, but the blends, we don't have to learn, well, what does lemongrass or coriander, or you don't have to know that. When we have a blend that has a purpose and has it's been so masterfully put together. Like doTERRA's blending team is just mind-blowing.
Out of this world.
They're mind-blowing. And so they synergistically put these blends together to work beautifully together. And that's why I was like, when I was reading the ingredients and then thinking about the desert, I'm like, wow, they've nailed it. Like, how did that, wow. And then the ocean as well is like, there's all the properties of the oils as well as the scent comes together and creates this experience that brings these pieces of nature into our home.
So not only are we getting that aromatic anchoring, it's reminding us of situations in our life, which is just remarkable that scientists have been able to recreate my holidays up on the New South Wales South Coast. How they knew that, I don't know, but they've done it. And then you get to bring that into your everyday life, which is, it's special. And until you smell these oils and experience it in your day-to-day, it sounds really wishy-washy, but it is special.
It's special and it's life-giving. And that's what we need to design our lives to be like. What I need to design my life in a way that's life-giving. What's bringing me life? What's bringing me vitality? What's bringing me relaxation?
And being purposeful then. Okay. Diffuse it. Make sure that these diffusers are on.
Intentional.
Make sure that you're using the product, like you said. Rub it on your chest. Put it on the soles of your feet. Take some breaths. Breathe it in. There's your portable diffuser right there. We get so caught in this hustle and bustle, and I've got to be here and I've got to be there and I've got to do all the things. And you've got these little guys just sitting on the shelf at home.
I can help you.
Yeah.
I can help you.
And we forget about it and then go, oh, I'm really stressed. I need to go to the doctors now and get some medicines because I'm not feeling great. Hang on, rewind it a bit. And see what you can do first for yourself.
Let's create balance. We've got all the tools.
We've
got all the tools.
Definitely. Okay, so we're going to go to my personal favourite. It's your favourite as well.
Yes.
Native bush.
We said it. We have a favourite child.
We do, and I'm not ashamed to say it.
Not ashamed.
The bush is my favourite. I love it. In fact, I do at my diffuser native bush and citrus bliss. 2 blends, and together.
I love blending
bush
blends.
And the bliss, it is, give it a go.
The
it's
bush
delightful.
and the bliss. I love it. Well, I grew up in the bush. And there's not much to not love about this blend. 8 tree oils for starters.
And what do tree oils do, right? They just...
Well, this is a great thing to think about if you are wanting to kind of start to understand what the oils do, is that you imagine them, like imagine the actual plant itself. So you think about a tree. The tree has roots that reaches and anchors down into the earth, and then can grow quite strong and tall, reaching for the light. So they're the masters of grounding. They know how to stay connected to the earth. They know how to be still in chaos. You know, they weather the world, and you know, they turn carbon dioxide into oxygen.
Yeah, they're resilient.
They're resilient, and they're the breathing, they're the breath of the earth. And so we can turn to trees for grounding, we can turn to trees for resilience in our health, and we can turn to trees for our respiratory support.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, two of the favourite pair for me is arborvitae and eucalyptus in this. Like this together, I'm just like, oh, I love. And
thank you.
Have a little moment in the bush. Now this one you definitely want to put on your chest.
Yeah.
So this is also really great for respiratory support as an alternative to easy air.
Okay.
So I find working with a lot of families, some kids, even my youngest, he finds the peppermint a bit too much and goes up into his eyes, and he's just like, he loves the smell, but it's just too much, the menthol for him. So native bush is a great alternative to use in as you would easy air on the chest, on the feet, on the back, in the diffuser. Another thing is some people find the peppermint at night. So if they've got some congestion happening and they want to put easy air at night while they're sleeping, can find the peppermint a bit stimulating and hard to sleep. So again, native bush stands in. It's got like all the tree oils, the eucalyptus, like just opening up the lungs. It's just so great for our respiratory support.
Yeah, most definitely.
And the thyme, you know, it's got thyme. It's just,
one of those weird oils that no one wants to smell on its own.
I know.
It's powerful.
It's so true.
And when
Thyme's
it's blended,
not that pleasant on its own.
It's really not.
But blended, but it's incredible in blends. Like it does incredible things with.
Yeah. To me, native bush, I love how you've just made that connection between easy air, because it's actually got 1-8 cineol in it. So it's that constituent that really helps to support clear breathing. And there are studies to show that that particular constituent, which is very, very high in the likes of eucalyptus, really helps to act as a supportive mechanism before you're heading down the path of struggling to breathe. You know, if you're coming into a seasonal threat kind of month, or you're feeling like things are getting a little bit tighter, that kind of constituent really helps to open up the airways again and give you that free breathing. Even for snorers or those that find that they're waking up doing that. I mean, I do that just laughing these days.
You're the same as me.
But that's a constituent that really helps us to have that proper breathing, because, you know, our breathing system, our respiratory system is a lot bigger than people realise, and it's all very much interconnected.
Absolutely. And it is so connected to our brain function, our immune system. Like everything is impacted by our ability to breathe well and clearly and fully. So having this going, yes, you're right, at nighttime, it is my favourite one for night, because, you know, at the end of the day, you want to really ground. And because in terms of sleep, it's not just about getting to bed early, which is something that we need to do that many people don't, me included, and just getting good sleep. It's actually the preparation before we get to bed and before we get to sleep. Like for us to be relaxed, our mind to be relaxed, our body to be relaxed when we get to bed will determine the quality of sleep. And so having native bush, literally filling your house with trees, is...
That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, is supporting your body to be able to come into a state of rest to get that good night's sleep. Because you might sleep straight for 7 hours, but how deep have you gone in those cycles? How has your heart rate actually dropped? Have you been able to come into, you know, those deeper states where you get that real restorative, you know, the body does a lot of work in sleep time. So that's what I love about native bush. You can put it on, you know, pop it on after dinner and just help your whole family come into a state of rest so they can get that quality sleep.
That's really beautiful.
Yeah.
And there's also that anchoring that happens too. So we can actually biohack our brains.
Absolutely.
After a while, we know that it takes around a month to create a new habit. So my challenge to everyone, start diffusing native bush each after tea. That's a really good idea. At 6:30, 7 o'clock, depending when you finish dinner.
Yeah.
Start diffusing it and seeing what happens. Because after about a month, I'm going to do it too. I'm going to test it out with my kiddos. What time are we actually going to bed?
Yeah.
What time is everything starting to settle down a little bit?
Yeah.
Because when you smell that, your body's naturally going to think, oh, it's nighttime.
Yeah.
I'm going to get into that more restful state.
Exactly. You can also, if you're one that showers or baths at night, you can. My hack is that I sprinkle in the shower.
Nice.
I don't quite do the shower melts yet, but I just sprinkle in the.
I made some of those the other day. Geez, they're nice.
Yeah, I
It's
can
really
imagine.
nice.
I just haven't.
No, but if
I
you've
do
got
a
the
lot of
bottle,
DIY, but I just
drop
don't do
drop.
those. Yeah, I just flick into the corners.
Yeah.
You can also do the bath salts thing again. If your kids are having bath, you can pop that in.
Nice.
Again, supporting their immune system. It's supporting the respiratory system, helping them ground.
Even an after bath, like little massage.
Yes.
With a bit of fractionated coconut oil or a moisturiser. Play with their toes a little bit. That'd be gorgeous.
Totally. Yeah, onto the bottom of their feet.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
So these oils obviously are exceptional, and I love how you've taken the direction of teaching us how to use it in a daily routine. That's really clever, because we've got so many products in our range, and we all want to do the right thing, but it can become really, really overwhelming and go, well, hang on, I need peppermint for the morning, and then I need this for lunch and this for dinner, and I've got to squeeze the nutritions in, and where does MetaPower sit in all of this? And then I've got to do work and cook dinner and do all the things. So I really love that if we could set this routine, almost a mini challenge for ourselves. Right, we're in October.
Yep.
We've got these oils. How do we set this habit for the next 30 days? Morning, afternoon and evening, utilising these oils with 10% off, which is awesome.
Yes.
So that synergistically, and I'm going to use that big word because that's where I want to lead this conversation next.
Yes.
Because
I love this because the whole CPTG, having that standard for us to be able to rely on the quality of the oils that will provide us with actual, verifiable, valid results in how we want to use them, we get a result. It's so powerful.
Bang on, absolutely.
And that's that we can actually look to these for that.
Yeah, and trust.
And trust them.
Trust.
Exactly.
Yes. I just recently went on a sourcing trip last week, actually, to Kununurra, and wow, that when you were talking about desert sand, my brain was just literally thinking about to my experiences last week. It was remarkable. But we got to see the sandalwood plantation and see the process.
So good.
And the responsibility and the seriousness of these farmers and what they do to ensure that from when the plants are the seedlings are even popped into the dirt, how they are caring for these plants so that 15 years later, when we're finally harvesting that sandalwood tree, everything is taken into consideration.
Yeah.
And then once it's milled, once it's chopped down, it's sent to the US to then be tested to ensure it's 100% pure, that we don't have markers of aluminium in there. We don't have markers of pesticides. And that's because of the farmers and the process that doTERRA take, the seriousness of this situation, that they control every element, from seedling through to into the bottle. So you've actually got some data that Dr. Riggs has shared.
Let me get something I prepared earlier.
Cool stuff. Tell me all about it.
So, thank you, Brannick. Dr. Riggs. So, the coast. So, we were talking before about all of the cleansing oils, the coriander, lemon eucalyptus, Douglas fir, and lemongrass. It actually has a 38% limonene, which is a chemical compound that has an uplifting and energizing aroma. So limonene is really great for cleansing for our environment. So that's why we want to have it in the car, diffusing while we're driving, in the home, just clearing out, emotionally and physically, anything that's coming in with us when we're coming home from school and from work.
Totally. So even like DIYs for like cleaning,
great into your
sprays and stuff.
Sprays,
ridding bugs. I'm just thinking in my head, hang on, lemongrass, lemon eucalyptus, they're notorious for ridding all of the flying buzzies.
And you can put extra into your laundry powder. So you can
Yeah.
just like do your scoop, put a few drops, and it will help. Like if you're needing to do, you know, some dusty,
Yes.
you know, sheets and blankets and things to actually
Yes.
refresh that and get all of the
Dust
dust mites.
Mm-hmm.
Jinx. Linalool is also there's 10% linalool in this as well, so that's why it's really that really calming, soothing. So you know, linalool's in lavender. It's that really calming and soothing constituent that really helps us our whole body just to relax. So
And
that's
it
that
also has
exhale.
topical benefits then too, which is really interesting.
Yes,
to
yes. So when we're talking about putting on our chest, on our feet, in the bath, that really relaxing and calming impact, which is great. All the ways that we've talked about how to use these oils today are not just to make you feel good, but actually for your body, your whole well-being, your family's environment to actually be legitimately uplifted.
It's almost like the side effect is that it smells nice.
Exactly.
The actual, which is what people naturally opt to anyway. Oh, this smells really, really pretty. I just want to diffuse it in my house. Sure, the house is going to smell pretty.
Yes.
But now that we're learning, and of course
we're
going to
support your
publish
cardiovascular health. It's going to cleanse your environment. It's going to help you relax.
It's actually doing the things.
Yes.
And because synergistically, they're able to work out, well, we're going to need X amount of this particular oil and this amount of this particular oil, because collectively, then we can get that, what was it? 38% limonene. That's really clever.
Yeah.
And to know that there's even 8% citronellol, I'm immediately thinking, okay, now Coast is going to be really fantastic to support outdoors. Coming into the summer months, we're going to have bugs flying around, we're going to have itchy things, we might get bitten by something.
Yeah.
That's the oil that you could now use topically,
so that's
as well as
part of the
emotionally.
reason why I suggested in the afternoons,
Well,
because that's when we get to dusk, is when we get the mosquito situation happening and the flies start coming in.
Well, that's because you live in paradise. We get to get any of those flying creatures in Melbourne town. But they do like to come out in December, right when I'm trying to relax after the Christmas party, and, you know, we want to put our feet up and enjoy the warmth.
You have you have the Coast Blend to support you with that one.
Perfect.
Yeah.
There's so much that we could talk about with these oils, and I think that it's almost like the tip of the iceberg. We have just scratched the surface of how deep we can go with these blends. So maybe there's more conversations to come around coast, native bush and desert sand. But I think you and I both agree that incorporating them into a routine of sorts and being committed to just giving it a go, trying to repeat these behaviours on a daily basis and see how you feel, see how your family is responding to this. After around 30 days, that could be the telltale sign that you're doing the right thing.
Absolutely. And seeing, just seeing the nature that you live on actually coming in and supporting you.
A nod to Australia and New Zealand, wherever we live. They definitely talk to what's outside around us, which is pretty special.
Yeah. So baseline, just use them, start getting them on you, around you.
That's it.
And your family.
Yes.
And just see them start to transform your life.
Beautiful. And we'll have some DIYs and some usage ideas that will come through on our socials that give everyone some inspiration on how to use them. And of course, I'm going to do a plug. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, doTERRA AUNZ.
Such great education.
There's so many conversations from you guys. Some beautiful leaders who have got a wealth of knowledge. We don't have to necessarily just focus on what's happened this month. We've got the Oceania Trio, 10% off each of these products this month. Let's rewind. Let's go back a year ago and look at Zach's interview with me when we were talking about digestion. He was remarkable. That's the kind of repetitive education that we really do need. Yeah. So have a look on our YouTube page. Have a look at all the beautiful videos and see what you learn.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me. It's been so fun. We could talk all day.
We will. It's lunchtime. Let's go and have a nice lunch and connect some more. But from my heart, and I genuinely mean this, you are an ocean. You are beautiful, you are calm, you are kind, and we love you. So thank you so much.
I love you too, Jess. Thank you.